Imagine the earth isn't solid. Imagine there's a whole world under your feet. Forests, oceans, cities, all lit by a sun that glows from the inside out.
So like Greece, but upside down.
Scientists proposed it. Explorers swore they saw it. One man even ran for Congress just to drill a giant hole to find it.
Honestly, better than half the policies we're getting now.
Welcome to Mindzilla. Tonight, we go inside. Hello, surface dwellers. Welcome back to Mindzilla, the podcast where two curious nuts investigate conspiracies while slowly losing grip on reality.
Speak for yourself. I'm gripping reality with both hands and a safety harness.
You're gripping vibes, darling.
Well, let's slip in.
To begin our journey into the hollow bits of the planet, we must travel back to a time where science was, let's say, vibing more than verifying.
Basically, when people were just spitballing ideas and hoping no one noticed, done zero math.
Enter Edmund Halley. Yes, the comet guy. The man, the myth, the multi-layered onion, 92. Same bloke. Absolute overachiever. He nailed the whole predicting celestial bodies thing. He had a theory. Might be made of concentric shells like a cosmic Russian doll.
To be fair, this was the 1690s. They didn't have seismic data. They barely had decent soap.
Halley thought the magnetic field was misbehaving, flipping, wandering, and deciding, haha, must be because we're actually living on a giant Cadbury cream egg.
And honestly, respect. If you're going to be wrong, at least be wrong in an imaginative way. Not like modern flat earthers who just copy-paste memes.
Inside the Earth's luminous atmospheres and possible life unknown to mankind, Halley genuinely thought there were people down there, but polite celestial people, probably with good hair.
Meanwhile, surf humans were out here sword fighting over nutmeg.
Hear he, the Earth is hollow, big holes at the poles. I, John Cleves Symes Jr., will lead you inside.
This man woke up one morning, wrote a circular letter to the entire US government and basically said, fund my holiday to the Arctic so I can walk into the earth and maybe meet the neighbors.
He promised lush inner landscapes, perfect climates, and rivers that flow upward. Upward, look.
I'm just impressed he managed to get people listening. I can't even get you to listen when I'm explaining how our boiler works.
Because your boiler explanations do not include upside-down rivers or secret utopias. I'd listen if you step up your game. Now let's get into Symes' massive PR campaign. Symes went on tour, actual tour, like a rock star of subterranean nonsense. Lectures, pamphlets, merch. He literally tried to persuade Congress to fund a polar expedition.
And miraculously, Congress said no, which is incredible considering they usually approve anything involving ships and men shouting at ice.
But he built a whole movement, the Simicites, which sounds like a brand of probiotic yogurt, but was actually a fan club for Hollow Earth believers. And then, like a Victorian Marvel cinematic universe, writers arrive. Jules Verne drops Journey to the Center of the Earth in 1864. Suddenly, Hollow Earth isn't just a theory, it's when fiction made it sexy.
Volcano tubes, dinosaurs, castles under the crust, basically Pinterest for geologists on mushrooms.
The public ate it up, because who doesn't want a surprise lost world under their feet? It's escapism with a side of geothermal chaos. As the Victorians got spiritually horny, Hollow Earth morphed into a mystical realm. Agartha, Shambhala, inner kingdoms run by enlightened beings with flowing robes and suspicious cheekbones.
Basically, everyone imagined aliens that looked like yoga instructors.
Exactly. Raymond Bernard, one of the major Hollow Earth hype men, pushes the idea that the poles hide entrances, and the inner world is full of loving, peaceful, ancient beings.
I'm sorry, but if advanced inner beings existed, they would have popped up by now to tell us to stop microwaving fish in office kitchens.
By the early 20th century, Hollow Earth had it all. Scientists, explorers, best-selling authors, spiritualists, government denials, a suspicious lack of actual holes.
Which is the perfect recipe for a conspiracy. Take 1 part scientific misunderstanding, add 2 parts wishful thinking, season with mystery, and garnish with 0 evidence.
Like 90% of Facebook posts. But things get juicier because next, people start claiming they're actually been inside the Earth.
And that's where Admiral Byrd enters, like the Beyonce of polar exploration.
Welcome to the Inner Kingdom, a place that allegedly exists halfway between myth, geology, and your mate's dodgy ayahuasca trip in Bali.
You're doing the voice again. Whenever Jess does the cosmic ASMR voice, you know we're about to talk about someone who owned crystals and published pamphlets.
Agartha, or Agartha, depending on how mystic you're feeling, isn't just inside the Earth. Oh no. It's an entire utopian kingdom supposedly ruled by advanced beings called Ascended Masters.
Of course they're ascended. They always are. Never just moderately elevated masters. No one ever meets Dave, the lower level master who handles parking permits.
The concept eats the Western imagination through theosophy, with Elena Blavatsky, and later writers rummaging through Asian myths and stitching together a glowing underground Xanadu.
Nothing says spiritual enlightenment like Victorians cherry-picking myths and declaring themselves experts after 1 cup of herbal tea.
In the late 1800s, theosophists decided that the Earth is basically a spiritual layer cake. The surface world equals stressed, confused humans. Middle layer equals subtle vibrations and mysterious tunnels. And the inner world equals the enlightened VIP lounge.
So basically, Earth, Purgatory, and then LA?
And in its inner realm lives the king of the world, like a cosmic landlord managing a civilization of hyper-evolved beings who spend their time meditating, vibing, and definitely not paying taxes.
I want to know if the king of the world does council tax bans or just telepathic direct debit.
In the early 20th century, painter mystic, possibly spy Nicholas Roerich goes off into the Himalayas hunting for Shambhala and Agartha.
Jess loves this story because it's basically national treasure, but everyone's sober and wearing robes.
He claims Tibetan monks told him a great kingdom exists below the earth where ancient knowledge sleeps, and if you were spiritually pure, you might be allowed in.
So, no influencers?
Then, occult writers in the 1920s and 30s go full sci-fi. Agartha becomes the interdimensional hub, a sort of cosmic Heathrow where aliens, spirits, and advanced humans gather to manage Earth's destiny.
Imagine customs control. Sir, do you have anything to declare? Yes, higher consciousness and a vague smell of sandalwood.
They believe the Guardians controlled Earth's magnetic field, human spiritual evolution, their patterns, possibly even the outcome of Eurovision.
That does explain Finland's entry last year.
Fast forward to 1964. Raymond Bernard releases The Hollow Earth, the occult manga that merges every mystical idea into one big subterranean smoothie. He claims the poles have literal openings. UFOs actually come from inside the Earth. Inner people are peaceful, telepathic, glowing, and probably moisturized. The government knows and is hiding it.
Classic conspiracy curve. Step 1, propose wild idea. Step 2, add aliens. Step 3, blame government. And step 4, profit from the book sales.
To give him credit, Bernard really commits. He says the inner sun is a giant energy source that nourishes the Agarthian gardens.
So the Earth is basically an avocado with a very dramatic pit.
Now, here's where it goes from mystical to aggressively stupid. Some French writers claim Nazi expeditions sought the polar entrances to Agartha.
Nazis always show up in conspiracy lore like unwanted guests at a barbecue. No one invited them, and they always ruin everything.
The idea was that an advanced inner civilization would give them super weapons. Spoiler, there's zero evidence they did, however, have a weird obsession with occult geography and ancient myths, probably due to all the meth they were consuming.
Imagine pitching that. Sir, shall we advance on Moscow? No, lads. We're going splunking.
Modern New Age groups claim Agartha beams vibrational upgrades into the planet, like a cosmic software update.
Downloading Enlightenment 3.2. Please do not unplug your aura.
Meditation circles online say they received telepathic messages from ascended masters who lived near the Inner Diamond Temple.
I'm sorry, but that sounds like the world's most pretentious Argos catalogue.
Here's the real truth. Agartha is the perfect meat because it beats reality every day. Reality is loud, stressful, and has potholes. Agartha is warm, peaceful, enlightened, moisturized, and has no council meetings.
And no one has to pay for parking.
It's the dream we keep projecting downward. A better world just out of reach, glowing beneath our feet. But eventually, people stopped just meditating on the inner world and started claiming they'd visited.
And by people, you mean men with diaries, questionable navigation skills, and a concerning addiction to triangles on maps.
Yes, Admiral Byrd, polar holes, and the birth of modern hollow earth chaos is where this is gonna take us right now. Antarctica. Nothing but white, cold, and the crushing knowledge that your nose has frozen into a sad little punctuation mark.
Basically, a British beach holiday.
Admiral Byrd wasn't just any explorer. He was the polar guy, the LeBron James of freezing his ass off. Achievements include first flight over the North Pole, allegedly, still debated. First flight over the South Pole, this one is solid. Led massive military scientific expeditions and had highbrows capable of withstanding gale force winds.
We've watched this documentary, and I swear the man's eyebrows had their own union.
After World War II, the US Navy launched Operation iJump, the largest Antarctic expedition ever. 4,700 men, 13 ships, tanks, planes, a whole floating Walmart of military kit.
Imagine being a penguin watching all that pull up like, oh great, the neighbors from hell have arrived.
Officially, the mission was for training and research. Unofficially, the internet now insists they were chasing Nazi bases, UFOs, alien tech, secret hole in a hollow earth, or the world's chilliest Costco. The conspiracy hinges on a diary apparently forged decades after Byrd's death. A text that claims he flew into a tropical inner world and met hyper-advanced beings who told him humans were naughty and needed supervision.
If those beings saw the state of social media, they'd have put us in a cosmic timeout long ago.
One of the start quote from the diary, "In the land beyond the poles, I flew into a green valley bathed in warm light. I was taken to meet the master.
Why do all higher dimensional beings sound like they host a wellness retreat in Ibiza?
This diary describes mammoths grazing underworld fields, an inner sun glowing like a spa lamp, a council of Agarthian elders, a peaceful utopia, and weirdly, no penguins, which is suspicious.
Penguins would have eaten all the mammoths. Those birds are chaos in tuxedos.
The thing is, Bird never wrote any of it. Israel journals are dull and dry as toasts. Weather patterns, aircraft maintenance, and him being annoyed at ice. But why do people believe it? Because Bird said one weird thing. In 1947, interview in Chile, Bird supposedly remarked that the US must prepare for enemies who could fly from pole to pole with incredible speed.
Military guy warning about aircraft, but conspiracy theorists heard aliens. He's talking about aliens.
This episode of Mindzilla is sponsored by Visit Agartha, the Inner Herd's premier holiday destination. Tired of the surface world? Exhausted by traffic? Overwhelmed by taxes, politicians, and everyone on Instagram pretending they read a book? Come to Agartha, where the sun is in sight, the weather is perfect, and everyone communicates through passive-aggressive telepathy.
I tried ordering a coffee and the barista sent me a vision of my childhood shame. 5 stars.
Explore our attractions. The crystalline forest, glowing suspicious like a rave in a court shop. The Hall of Ascended Masters, where enlightened beings hover slightly because they can't be bothered to walk. And Mount Shastna's secret immigration office, open weekdays only. Still not convinced? Book now and receive a complimentary rope, free aura alignment, and a stern warning not to talk to the lizard people down the hall.
I'd go, but the brochure says you have to be invited.
Look, check your email. And that bird line basically turned into Nazi UFOs, Inner Herd UFOs, polar portals, and a whole buffet of deep-fried nonsense. Hijab was meant to go for 8 months, but it ended after 2. Conspiracy theorists thought, haha, they were chased away by a giant UFOs from the hollow Earth. Historians were like, no, half the crew got frostbite and morale collapsed.
Imagine being attacked by UFOs and the official report goes, Jim won't stop crying about his socks froze again.
Add in the rumor that Nazi built a secret Antarctic base, Station 211, where they stored UFOs and sought the entrance to Agartha.
Listen, these are the same people who lost a tank division because they forgot Russia is cold and they weren't building portals.
Actual historians agree. Nazis did map part of Antarctica. They did send a weird expedition. They did not build a base. They did not find Hollow Earth. They did leave behind some penguins traumatized by Wagner. What makes the bird meat stick? Same ingredients as every great conspiracy. A heroic explorer, a remote mysterious setting, missing documents, military secrecy, a forged diary that sounds like a sci-fi novel, and penguins who refuse to talk.
I respect the penguins' silence. They took the NDA seriously.
Bird cared about polar exploration, climate study, mapping the Earth, Navy logistics, not dying in the cold. Zero mention of inner suns, mammoths, or ancient masters.
He was a man of reality trapped in a conspiracy theorist fan fiction.
Bird did conduct mysterious flights with limited documentation. He did disappear from radio contact for stretches. He did write in one private entry, strange land formations observed.
Translation, I saw ice that looked like a face and panicked.
But to the internet, that's confirmation that he slipped into a garden for a cheeky spa day. But birds isn't the end, because the Hollow Earth has a modern, thriving fan base, and their theories, they go beyond ice, beyond aliens, and straight into TikTok chaos. If you thought Hollow Earth died with 17th century mystics and that one guy who tried to run for Congress on the Let Me Drill at the Pole platform, no. The internet resurrected it like a Victorian cryptic with Wi-Fi.
This is what happens when broadband gets too fast.
Key modern sources of chaos: Reddit conspiracy threads, 4chan green texts, TikTok explorers who say, I'm at the North Pole, while clearly filming in a Tesco freezer. UFO forums, podcasts, including tragically, probably ours. People mash up Hollow Earth, Agartha, Flat Earth, Nibiru, reptilians, Atlantis, and cosmic disclosure into one giant smoothie of my uncle saw a hole in the Arctic once. The flavor of Hollow Earth is basically a peaceful inner utopia led by ascended masters, powered by crystals, love, and suspiciously good skin. The common claims are humanity's ancient ancestors retreated underground to avoid catastrophes. They lived in harmony, wear robes, and have telepathic Wi-Fi. The inner sun is a higher frequency solar consciousness. They will reveal themselves when humanity stops being embarrassing.
So, never. Peak example. Thelos community. People who believe in underground city sits beneath Mount Shasta, inhabited by Lemurian descendants.
Mount Shasta is America's customer service desk for weirdness. It attracts every woo-woo traveler like moths to a lava lamp. Modern UFO communities often claim UFOs don't come from space, they come from inside the Earth. The poles are actually hangars. The US government knows but lies because people aren't ready. Well, they definitely know. And aliens equal ancient inner Earth populations. The weirdest theory? The Shaver Mystery Revival. People believe Deros, the degenerate robot like cave dwellers, beam chaotic thoughts into our brains.
So, X?
Probably. The internet has produced a very special species flat hollow hybrids. They genuinely believe the Earth is flat, but also hollow, with a sun in the middle, and also the sun you see in the sky is a projection by the elite.
This group is known academically as a big no.
Imagine believing the world is a pancake with a Kinder Surprise interior. This is where modern hollow Earth thrives like mold in a fridge. Common viral claims. Look at this mountain, is actually a giant pyramid. This blurry bit is a polar opening. Wake up, sheeple. My compass doesn't work. That's because I'm near the vortex. I wasn't allowed to pass this fence, so clearly there's a city inside the Earth.
Or, and hear me out, it's because it's -40, Cheryl, and the researchers didn't want you licking anything.
Explorers who are definitely lying, and there is some examples. There's a bloke in a fur-lined Primark jacket claiming he's days away from the inner sun. There's a girl who points at the crack in the glacier and says city lights. And then there is a guy who insists Google Earth censors the polar holes with pixel blur. What it actually is, JPEG compression, shadows, someone standing too close to a snowdrift. There's a whole category of people who claim they flew over it, walked near it, heard the hum, felt the shift in the energy frequency. claim the government chased them away, and every video begins the same way. I shouldn't be showing you this, but cut to footage filmed in Iceland, the Sierra Nevadas, or behind a Pizza Hut. A small but passionate internet circle believes the world is about to collapse, the inner herd civilization will rise. They'll choose certain humans to rescue, chosen ones feel the call as ringing in the ears.
Tinnitus. You're describing tinnitus.
Pop culture includes Journey to the Center of the Earth, Godzilla vs. Kong, full-on Hollow Earth with neon forests, Fortnite, yes, it's also in lore, video games where the underworld is always better decorated than my flat.
Ironically, the more ridiculous it gets, the more it sticks around.
Because Hollow Earth taps into something ancient. Caves, myths, lost worlds, curiosity, fear of the unknown, and our collective obsession with thinking there must be more down there.
Or we could just get better hobbies.
If there's a tropical inner sun and no council tax, I'm already packing.
Why not? I'll go too.
As we have briefly mentioned the Nazis early, we're now taking a detour into everyone's least favorite historical fan club, the Nazis. Because, of course, they shoved their grubby fingers into the Hollow Earth pie.
Honestly, is there any bizarre theory they didn't try to fund?
Nope. If there was a crack in the rock somewhere, Himmler wanted the scientists to go sniff it. So here's the wild bit. Himmler generally believed in a theory called the world ice theory, claiming the cosmos was made of ice and the Earth was formed through cosmic frostbite or something equally stupid. But they also flirted with the idea that the Earth was hollow or concave, or had a secret inner realm full of Aryan ancestors doing interpretive dance. The Nazi Occult Research Division tried to map the inside of the world using radio waves, assuming they could bounce signals off the inner surface of a holosphere.
So, German engineering, but for nonsense.
Exactly. They even sent expeditions to Tibet, Antarctica, and the Arctic on the off chance they'd find a lost super race, a polar portal, or a big glowing hole labeled Welcome. Come in. Please remove your shoes.
And did they find anything?
Frostbite. Mostly frostbite.
Brilliant. That's what happens when you do science based on vibes and drugs. As we have been absent for a long time, we have prepared a full-on, fun-only segment for you as a token of our appreciation for everyone who listens or tunes in telepathically to our show.
Alright, before we wrap things up today, let's use our imagination and talk about the real danger of the Hollow Earth. Not the aliens, not portals, the influencers.
Yeah, if Inner Earth has TikTok, the apocalypse is justified.
Picture it, a garden influencer culture. You've got Crystal Kyla posting daily aura cleanse routines using a ring light powered by the inner sun.
She starts every video with, "Hey glowworms, remember if your chakras aren't aligned? That's a you problem."
Or Vibraton87, the ascendant master who floats 3 inches off the ground while reviewing skincare.
He's like, "This serum tightened my aura in one application," and you're like, "May, you're levitating. That's cheating."
Then you've got the Agarthan mummy bloggers, Sun Womb Matriarch, uploading telepathic storytime vlogs. Today, Stardust beat his sibling Carmeline on a molecular level.
I'd give anything to see an Agarthan unboxing video. They'll just tear open a glowing crystalline egg and go, "Ooh, this one resonates at 432 hertz, lads."
And of course, the big celebrity influencer, Inner Sun Daddy. The bloke who stands in front of the inner sun dramatically and gives life advice like, stop seeking external validation, bask in your own nuclear radiance.
Which is rich, coming from someone posting 12 reels a day.
Garden influencers would be the worst, but also I'd follow them.
You follow people who organize their fridge. The bar is subterranean at this point for you.
Alright, last one. Let's play a Garta Tinder, or as they call it, Vibe Mate.
Oh, God.
Swipe 1. Talar, 342. Height, 7 feet, unless my energy is low. Hobbies? Guarding portals, making kombucha from bioluminescent algae. Looking for someone who won't freak out when I phase through walls. Look, red flag or green flag.
Red, massive red. If you can walk through walls, you are never respecting boundaries.
Swipe 2. Lumina. Age, irrelevant. Vegan, crystal collector, telepathic. I already know if we are soulmates. I mean, efficient?
That's the girl who dumps you before the first date because she felt the timeline split.
Tough crowd. Next, we have Gorin the Glorious. 29 surface ears. That bod, but make it mystical. Just a simple inner heart guardian looking for someone to owl at the inner sun with. Thoughts?
That's every bloke on Hinge, but with more lava behind him.
Fair play. Swipe 4. Seraphel. Age unknown. Job ascended being. Interests? Chanting, floating, judging mortals. Fun fact, I don't walk, I glide. A bit of a princess, right?
Bit of a nightmare. Imagine arguing with someone who just levitates away mid-confrontation.
Last one, my favorite. 23. I dig, that's it. I dig tunnels. If you like long walks underground and don't mind glowing fungi, hit me up.
Finally, a man with a trade.
He gives dependable energy. You could build a future with Tunnel Boy.
You could build a basement with him at least.
So, it's the heart hollow.
No,
It's the internet hollow.
deeply.
But the myth is eternal.
And so is your obsession with portals.
One day, look, one day we're going inside.
And I'll bring snacks.
This has been Mindzilla. Stay curious, stay weird, and don't fall through any suspicious holes.